Well, welcome to the Dolden Details channel. Yep, a little bit different today. We're not actually cleaning the car. We're actually doing that on the next video, which is the VW Polo video, which I'll be testing some products which you might be familiar with and you might not be. So what's the actual video all about this week? What's this video about? Well, a little while ago somebody actually said to me in the comment section on my channel, why don't you do a video of how you set up your car cleaning gear? Now from what this I'm gathering, I get that they want to know what I use, maybe just for a basic wash, you know, like a maintenance weekly wash or a monthly wash, however you clean your car, and not necessarily have all this gear, but what you can more or less get away with, you know. Say a starter pack, say you're new to detailing, so you're new to getting into the whole car scene, you know, you were getting the supermarket to wash your car, you're fed up with them, you know, and you think, I'd rather spend my money elsewhere and maybe start up my own car cleaning stuff, you know, and do it as a hobby like we do, you know. This is a hobby, and for a lot of people it's a blooming good business. Hence the channel, the products and everything else. This is what we do. We get the new guys and girls involved with it. You put your comments under the video, we get you involved on the interactive channel, which is the Dolden Details channel. Right, I'm going to start off with some real basics. Most people in your street, not saying everyone's street, I know there's a few down that end of the road, I've just seen one, that just use one bucket. One bucket, crappy old chamois leather and a shitty old sponge you probably got from the Shell garage. Right. So you're new to the whole detailing thing and you want to give your car a good wash. You don't own all the gear, you don't own a pressure washer, or, you know, you say you've got a hose pipe or you've got access to water. So bucket wise, what are we talking about? Well, I've got some buckets down here. The ones I actually use are the large ones. I think these are 30 litre. I might stand corrected on this. These are large. You don't have to fill them all the way up. These are the lovely Detailers Passions buckets. They have a grit guard in here. There are a number of these grit guards on the market. They are these ones, which are the ones you put together. Then there's the solid type. They all do pretty much the same thing. Then there's also a better type as well, with like a slanting type affair on it, which is even better. Haven't used those yet. What's the idea of these? If you don't know, if you were to wash your car with just a bucket, all the grime and the crap that comes off your mitt or whatever you're using sinks to the bottom of the bucket, and then you go and put your mitt back in the bucket, pick up all the grit and smear it all over your car like sandpaper, thus creating thousands upon thousands of defects, swirls, you know, scratches, you name it, wash marring. You wouldn't believe what it looks like after. There's a lot of people out there that will still do this. They'll still do it every single week, and they'll say, no, I always use a sponge, I always use that bucket. It's the one in the corner next to the window cleaning bucket in the back of my garage, the one without bleach in it. Yeah, so these are the grit guards. They're not much money. I think around £5 on the internet. Can't really give you a price on these buckets because I don't know, but these are available from your favourite detailing stockists. And there is another bucket available as well, a smaller one. Now, when I first started, I had these ones. These are the smaller type. I think they're around 20 litres. I might be wrong. Once again, grit guard. This one's the solid type of grit guard. You don't pull these fins off. All available on the internet from your favourite stockist or eBay. So we've got three buckets there. We've got this one here, the rinse bucket. We've got the wash bucket. And the third bucket is for your wheels. Now, if you're running wheels which are alloy wheels, you'll probably be familiar with the wheel brushes, what you can get on the market. So a real basic guide, but worth every penny, is the EZ wheel brush. This is the large wheel brush. I've shown it in videos before. It's flexible, it's durable. There is one on the market called a Daytona Speedmaster. The American audience will be familiar with that. Probably a bit more popular over there. Similar size, I believe. This is available in a smaller version, and then there is another one which looks a little bit like a loo brush. I can't remember the name, but put it underneath. Sorry. That's a really good durable wheel brush. Steer clear. I've done this before. When I first started, I thought I'd get a cheap this, get a cheap that. Don't go and get a real naff wheel brush with the end exposed with the wire, because you'll scratch your wheels to bits. It's just not worth it. These are 20 odd quid. They're 20 odd quid well worth spending of your hard-earned cash. Do not scrimp and scrape. I've done it. It works out costing you twice as much money in the end. Believe you me, I've done it. So that's the EZ brush. Next, you might want to get a soft brush. This is my Vicam brush. It's got a soft part here, handy for cleaning the face of the wheels. I know there's wheel woolies out there for the really keen detailers, and I've yet to buy some. They look really good. I've seen loads of guys using them, but we'll eventually cover that on another video. But this is my Vicam brush. This is my face cleaning brush. Not face of the wheels. And then of course I've got this one. This is a Valid Pro. This is to get into real tight areas. I've got numerous other brushes down here. I won't confuse the matter, but they are sort of basic brushes just for cleaning wheels. And of course you've got wash mitts, which we'll cover in a bit. So far you've just got 3 buckets and you've got some wheel brushes. Now, what are you actually going to wash your car with? Not as far as products are concerned, but as far as mitts are concerned, or whatever you might prefer, the wash pad system. So behind me I've got these. You've all seen this on the video. This is the Fex Philosophy Mohican. This is the hybrid mitt where it's got the long pile one side and the short pile the other. Go check the video out. WoWo mitt. This is the Lambswool WoWo mitt. A very nice mitt, very durable. I do use this. I know you've seen this in the videos lately, but I will be using this again. I like to give them a bit of air time. And of course the Nick Smeaton hybrid mitt, which is available via Instagram. Obviously I'll put all the links under this video for all this gear. So as far as mitts are concerned, so let's just go through. So you've got your 3 buckets, your wash mitt, you've got access to water and grit guards. There's pretty much a basic guide there without going into the pre-wash. Now, I said this to one person, pre-wash, somebody who wasn't really into the car scene and detailing, and he said, well, what's pre-wash? Surely you only wash your car once. And I kind of looked at him and thought, you don't really get this, do you? And I had to explain the whole process, and then it ended up in a big argument, like it always does. So I'll go through to the next bit. We're going to try and keep this as basic as possible without me going too much into all this other gear, because then it defeats the actual object of the video. The idea is to give you a rough idea to get your vehicle washed safely and at relatively cheap cost to you. There's a lot of guys out there still living at home, students, haven't got a lot of money. It can get expensive detailing, but it can also be very affordable if you choose the right products. So if we're thinking about pre-washes, most people are going to think, well, snow foam lance, yep, that's great. If you've got one of these snow foam lance, we've all seen these, you put your product in, your snow foam, 50ml or 100ml, cold water, warm water up to the line, snow foam your car, all looks wonderful. Get that pre-wash off, it then takes all the dirt off, as you've seen in previous videos. That's how they work. If you haven't got one of these, now, if you haven't got one, there is a suggestion. I've featured these numerous times, the old double action trigger spray. These are available from your local motor factors. Excuse me while my neighbour just drives past. They're around £5 to £8 depending on where you go. Maybe dear if you get them delivered on the internet. This is a litre bottle, it's a double action trigger spray. You pull it once and it goes like this. Pull it a couple of times and it keeps spraying. That does do the fan as well. There you go. You can do the bottom of a car with one of these with a litre of water and product quite easily. You may do a car and a half. So that's making sure your car is wet before you have any contact with it whatsoever. If you don't own a power washer and you own a hose, all I can say is to make your car as wet as possible, rinse it, as safely as possible, get all that loose dirt off before you have any contact with any of this, because the idea is to get rid of all that crap off your car before you even touch the paint, because that's when you get all the problems and you get wash marring, swirls and scratches and all the rest of it. So as I said before, this is a real basic guide. Having one of these, or you can have a pump sprayer like this, which you've probably seen before. Pump the top up, fills up with pressure, pull the trigger, and you can spray your product on the car. These are effective as well. You know, I don't really use it a lot. It tends to be for the more heavy duty chemicals like degreasers. I try and keep this for, you know, all the other stuff. So that is a basic, real basic wash guide, you know, really basic, and there is loads we can add to this. This is a whole can of worms when it comes to washing cars, and as you know through the videos each week I try and bring something in, maybe a tip. It's not just about the products. We're going to come to the actual drying part now. I live in a hard water area, so because I live in a hard water area, I can get watermarks, and sometimes in the summer I'm running around cars like you wouldn't believe, you know, like a bloody athlete. And the best way, really, the safest way I've found, is with a drying towel. This is the WoWo drying towel. It's a twin layer one. You may have seen this featured in one of the videos. We've got the Fex Philosophy one here, huge, great, thick, lovely plush drying towel. We've got Nick Smeaton's twisted drying towel under here. All personal preference to what you actually buy, but if you just buy one, you know, and then every other month or every month you buy another one, just get your wash and your dry stuff, just get a basic kit together. This will start you off, you know. Don't far too many people, they look at this and they think, right, I've got to have a Rupees polisher, I've got to have a Kranzel pressure washer, I've got to have, everything's got to be the best, you know, and they'll go and spend a hell of a lot of money. And believe you me, you know, that's great. If you're going to make maybe a bit of money out of it, or you're going to do other people's cars, you might be, you know, you might have that money to spend. But this is sort of aimed at guys that are just starting and girls who haven't got that much money, and every month, you know, just put a little bit of money aside, a tenner or whatever it costs. If you think how much a bottle of wine costs or a crate of beer, you know, and you want to look after your car, it's a big investment buying your car, especially your first car. You know, insurance costs are astronomical. You want to look after it and get the money back off the car when you sell it, or try to. So this is a real basic guide. This is partly why I've done it, and partly aimed it at the younger viewers to get you started in this. There's loads we can talk about, and I'm sure you'll fire all your comments underneath. So this is the basic drying guide, drying towels. The other thing is here, you may have seen this featured as well. This is the blaster sidekick. This is for drying the car very quickly. There are bigger versions of these. There are also pet blowers, which I'm told are all right, but they're very noisy. They're obviously cheaper because they're not dedicated to this. Some guys use them, some guys get on really well with them. Entirely up to you. I got this as a birthday present. It was 75 quid. From Polished Bliss. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant for getting in all the nooks and crannies for drying your car. So that's a bit later on down the line, talking about the higher end stuff. So the other thing I was going to talk about today is spending money on cheap stuff. Mentioned it, it's just not worth it. I'll give you an example. Trigger sprays. Probably pick these up 50p, £1, you know, from your bargain stores, your local B&Ms, or wherever you go if you get your bargains. Don't bother. After a while, the pin falls out from here if you're using things like wheel cleaners, and it just falls apart, and then you end up taking that one off and then getting another trigger spray head off of a product and putting it back on the bottle. I've done it, believe you me. Don't bother. So you started buying your stuff, you know, you got your kit together, and you're starting to run out of room. Some people I know people keep all their waxes and everything else indoors. They keep them in their wardrobes. I mean, my missus goes nuts if I put stuff out on the kitchen side. She goes, what's that stuff doing there? So do yourself a favour, go and get yourself one of these. These are available from any DIY stores. This one is in fact a Maplin's one, so it's normally full of, should be full of tech stuff, but it's got all my samples in there. And I tend to keep the samples in here, stuff I've got to do for videos and test. And then down here I've got this. This is the Dodo Juice tool chest, if you like, carrying bag, which has got all my sort of basic wash stuff in there as well, and even stuff I'm going to use for future videos and videos that week. Well worth keeping stuff in there. Obviously doing what I'm doing, you know, accruing a lot of samples, a lot of stuff. You might even have to get another one of these, but They're not that much money. I think they're around about 20 odd quid. You can get them online from your nearest stockist or auction site, if you know what I mean. So they're well worth buying just to keep your gear. Now, we've got the chemicals down here behind me, and the reason I've got those out is just as a little tip, really. Obviously, doing what I'm doing, companies are being really kind to me, and they're sending me the 500ml bottles, which is fantastic, or sending me 100ml or samples. That's great. Now, if you set yourself sort of like a regime and you're going to wash your car once a week, you're going to get through quite a bit of chemical. There is, if you're a valeter trader, then you're going to be going for things like this. These are 5 litre containers, and you can get these pump dispensers online. This is my shampoo I use for my maintenance washes. I actually put it in my wheel bucket as well, so it's just to add with lubricants. This is the MV Car Care shampoo, 250 to 1. It's lasted, I don't know how long. I've had this, crikey, I've probably had this about a year. Obviously I'm using different stuff, but when you start looking at chemicals, in particular snow foams and things like that, the bulk chemicals, it is very, it's great buying 500ml bottles, but you do get through them, you plough through them. I was talking to Patrick Davis, the Malco guy, about this, and he was saying how tough it is to produce these chemicals. The market, the margins are so tight on 500ml bottles, and really sometimes I'm not putting companies down or putting anyone down who wants to do it. 500ml you plough through, you really do, especially if you're going to do a few cars. So try and look at your expenditure and think, well, snow foam, I can get 500ml or a litre. Look at the price, look at the cost of the postage. If you're going to pay the postage in one hit, you might as well buy 5 litres of it. Once again, it's a little bit different to what I'm doing. I get sent a lot of samples. Yeah, I do buy bulk stuff occasionally, but this is something you need to look at on a monetary side of things. So that's the reason why that's there, just to show you that. That's the 500ml products, and shampoos. We've got quick detailers and everything else down there. So once again, this is just a guide. Don't take this all for gospel. It's just to try and help you set up. Because somebody actually asked me, I said, well, what's your setup? How do you go about setting your stuff up to do your cars? I'm going to come to that in a minute, about maintenance on your actual gear. So something we haven't really talked about was care and maintenance for your actual kit. Once you get it, you want to look after it. One thing I didn't mention, I've mentioned it before, sorry. These are the really cheap wash mitts. They're from China. Keep them for the lower parts of the car, the very bottom, like the seal parts, door shuts, that sort of thing. And of course you can use them for wheels. You can put these in the wash. They're about £1.20 delivered. Order a load of them. You can throw them away after. If you catch a bit of grease, just bin it. It's not really worth keeping. So you can put these in the wash and they come out fine. You can use them again and again. But don't be tempted just to get that for your main wash. I've got to stress that, because I know the comment section will be alight with comments saying you don't use them, they're cheap and nasty. I know John, Forensic John, if you're watching, this was a real top tip you gave me, and this is partly why I started using them, because it's such a good idea. They're brilliant. Now back to these, if you get like a hybrid mitt like this, i.e. not lamb's wool, not anything natural, you can chuck that in the wash, it's fine. They're safe to wash. When it comes to wash mitts like lamb's wool, like these, like the Fex and the Wowo mitt, don't be tempted to throw these in the wash. Don't put them on a radiator to try and dry them. Don't dry them with a hairdryer. Just rinse them indoors in some warm water, warm mild soap, and then just put, what you can do, you can actually put a brush up inside it like that indoors, or put it over a bottle and let it dry, and then put it back in your box in the garage, or wherever you want to keep it. I don't know, you might even sleep with it on your pillow for all I know. So that's the care of those. Just look after them. These are investment. They're investment for your car as well. So try and look after your gear. So the other thing is your wash buckets. This was mentioned to me a little while ago. Obviously they collect dirt and grime. You probably can't see that. There is some residue in the bottom of the bucket. Before you do your wash, obviously common sense, you take your grit guard out, give it a rinse through the bottom of the bucket, rinse it right out, then you're good to go with your shampoo. So that's as far as maintenance is concerned. And the same with your brushes as well. Give your brushes a good wash as well before you even start. I know this is a lot to take in, and there is loads more we can cover. There is one more thing I will cover at the end of the video, but I hope this has been sort of a little bit informative for you. It's not the normal video, I know we do, but I do get requests for videos. The next video is a product test. It's on a VW Polo, so that's going to be the next video. But there is one more thing. When you order stuff from the good old guys at WoWo, little plug for you there, you get these brilliant mesh bags. They'll probably kill me for doing this, but I know a few people that do this. They put their dirty microfibers, or their microfibers they use for all the crummy, horrible jobs like exhaust cleaning, and they keep them in a bag. But what you can do, because obviously you get one of these when you get your wash mitt, is put your wash mitt in the mesh and then keep it indoors, but just keep it out of the way of her indoors, and then she won't keep moving it like mine does. So that's another little tip. So I hope we've covered sort of some basics this week. If you want any more videos like this, please comment underneath. I know it's not for everybody, this sort of thing. It's like teaching people to suck eggs, but if you don't know, it's sort of like a rough guide. It's a basic guide without going into hoses and the pressure washer and everything else. That's just there for show, if you like. But if you want a video about the pressure washer, we will do a video. So if you like the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. I want to hear your comments underneath the video. I do try and get back to people as quick as possible. I get the notifications come up on the old iDevice, and I do try and get back to you as soon as possible. And keep watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Tatty bye.